supposedly RFK Jr. is a big old lefty, loves the environment, loves abortion or whatever. And so him being in the race is definitely gonna hurt Joe Biden, except Trump is not acting like a person who thinks that RFK Jr. is gonna help him. He wants to, he desperately wants that message, but he can't help but undercut it. Take a look at this. He posted on True Social, crooked Joe Biden does not want RFK Jr. in the debates because Jr. is far left him, and they would be debating over the same territory like ridiculous open borders and the Green New Scam, which I don't think RFK Jr. even supports, but both of which are killing our capital C country. He's also sharper and far more intelligent than Joe, all making for a bad combination of ingredients. I don't care if Junior joins the debate. And let's pause there for a second, because up until that point in the True Social post, it's all incredibly clear. Oh my God, if he's there, Joe Biden's ruined. RFK Jr. is obviously a big old lefty. His main appeal is clearly for Democrats. We all know that. And he's sharper, and Biden is slow, and Biden is sleepy. And RFK Jr. is gonna clean his clock. That's why Biden is so scared of him. And I don't even care if he's there. But that wasn't the end of the message. He goes on to say, but right now his polling numbers are very low. He is not properly qualified in the capital S states, and he seems to be on a downward path. Junior needs more than his name to get on the stage. You seem like you do actually not want him on, because you're listing all of these reasons you don't think he should qualify to be on there.
Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the Damage Report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you.
Now, it would be one thing if you were actually neutral. You say, I don't care. That implies neutrality. But you're not even neutral. You actively don't want him on the stage. And by the way, I don't say that just because of that message in which it's indisputable. Also because of the standards for qualification for the debates that Trump and his team have already agreed to make it so that it would be very hard for RFK Jr. to be on the stage. So according to the criteria set forth by CNN, RFK Jr. would have to reach a threshold of 15% in 4 major national polls in order to qualify. He's currently pulling in 12% across an average of all recent major polls. And I would say that you all may wonder, well, how do you get to the 15% threshold? It's complicated, but I took a lot of stats course in grad school. You take the 12% he's at, and then add some. I think that's actually how they landed on it. It's not an objective standard or anything. They're just like, he has it at 15, has he? He probably won't. Let's go with that. That's the ticket. That's what they did. They made it higher than what he's got so that he wouldn't qualify. But that's not even the only protection. And Trump clearly knows this because he referenced it in his True Social post saying RFK, this is the fact actually, this is the post. RFK would also have to secure ballot access in enough states to earn 270 electoral votes. As of now, he's only on the ballot in 5 states. Those campaign claims they have enough signatures to qualify for several more. And look, I just want to briefly opine here, if I have not been doing enough of that. Look, you're gonna have a threshold in terms of polling in major polls to qualify. You have to do that. You can't have 500 people on the debate stage, obviously. Now that said, we can have a debate about exactly what that threshold should be. And I would argue, as a person who clearly is not a fan of RFK Jr., I don't want him to be president. 15% seems very high to me. That's a lot. I mean, it literally is set at a level where I don't think anyone since Ross Perot has hit 15%. And they know that. It's not like 3 people is a ton of people on the debate stage. We've seen those ones of the Republican primary where they have like 10 people. That is a possibility. And look, you can say philosophically, even at 15%, it's a distraction. He's not actually gonna win. Okay, but you're very much being a gatekeeper at that point. Like, yeah, he probably won't win, but if he were to gain support, well, what are the ways that he would potentially do that? Well, I don't know, maybe being in a national debate. That would be one way to do that, except you guys are saying that he won't be able to. Look, the realistic thing here is that they're both scared of him being on there for contradictory reasons. Trump is pretending that everybody thinks that RFK Jr. is a big lefty. I don't actually buy that, and especially if you were to get him up on the debate stage, and the debate the moderators would have some tough questions for him on certain topics. They would be tough for RFK Jr. They'd also be tough for Trump because they asked him about vaccines. Now, maybe he would just totally change his tune. But if he was even approaching honest about what he has actually said or written about or advocated for or whatever, then that's fine. He should do that. And right wingers would be far more likely to actually like that. And I think that Trump knows that. I don't think Trump wants him anywhere near the debate stage for that reason. No, I'm not saying that Biden necessarily wants him there. I think he probably would look sharper than Joe Biden. He'd probably talk more quickly than Joe Biden. I think both of them would prefer to just have it be them. And when I say think, it's not think. They agreed to those standards. They could have bargained for it to be lower. They could have proactively allowed RFK Jr. to be there. They don't want that. And not just for the general reason that you don't want anyone there that theoretically could hurt you. They don't want him specifically. And so when he claims that they're colluding to block him from debates, yeah, that's what they're doing. I mean, not just them. CNN is also colluding to block him from the debates. And look, I'm just being consistent. They were during the Democratic primary, which they refused to acknowledge even existed. They could have done town halls for the different candidates. There was literally a sitting congressperson who was running for president, and they refused to let him on there. So look, I understand. Like I said, I don't want RFK Jr. to be president. I don't support him. I don't agree with the vast majority of things. I don't think he reflects my values. I don't think he's a big lefty. If he was a big lefty, I think he would be far more appealing. It's just not who he is politically. But the media has clearly been colluding with the parties to control not only the general election debates, but the terms of the primaries as well. And right now, maybe many of you watching, and I'm gonna pointlessly say this because I already tried to make this case during our reactions to the primary elections and it never worked. Like the person who is being blocked by it might be someone that you don't support. But I want you to consider the possibility that in the future, they will collude against a candidate that you do wanna see. RFK Jr., I don't like him, I'm not gonna vote for him or whatever. But like, are we, like if AOC had been in the primary, do we think that they would have felt obligated to have debates then? She's an incredibly notable, powerful, and influential Democratic congresswoman, but they would have blocked her too. And that may upset more people in the audience. I'm just saying we have to be consistent, or at least I pointlessly think that we should. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?